And we are on the air. Hello, welcome back to the Game Mechanics. We're doing 2 episodes this week because I've had a topic on my mind that I've really wanted to talk about and a little thought experiment I've wanted to do. But before we get into that, we're going to do introductions. Why don't you kick us off, Al?
I'm Al, and I'm not entirely clothed.
Hi, I'm Brandy. It's freaking hot.
So she may not be entirely clothed for very long.
Oh. I think it's you, Jason.
No.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm Jason, a.k.a. Rooster.
Hi, I'm Lily.
I'm Noble Bear. Oh.
And I am Sandpunk or Andy, depending upon how you know me. And I am not entirely in display.
Hey, right there. I just saw it. When did you take up smoking, Andy?
You dog, you.
I really do need to shave. This is getting a little out of control. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about tonight is essentially a thought experiment that we've discussed a few times doing in the past, where one of the members of the cast will approach with a mostly fleshed out game idea, and then we could do like a live critique of this game idea. And I decided I'll go first, and the one I'm coming to the table with is one I believe I mentioned in the last episode that we did, where I was really inspired to do. Excuse me if I'm like real phlegmy tonight. I was inspired by like the Universal monster movies, and whilst I came up with this idea before I'd heard of Monster High, it was not before I'd heard of Lollipop Chainsaw, so I cannot deny that that's at least an inspiration for the idea. The title of the project, as I've got it written down here, is Shelly Victorious. It's essentially think the Monster Squad meets Lollipop Chainsaw. You're playing as the protagonist Shelly, who is essentially a Frankenstein style creation. Genre of game, I was looking at it being a 3D action platformer collectathon, because I haven't seen a lot of collectathon games lately. Except there was one on Kickstarter recently that looked really good. I need to go back and check on that, see how well it's doing. But the premise is that Shelly is like a high school student who, like, her town has been attacked or invaded by classic monster movie monsters, and she's been resurrected by another classmate. The core mechanic of the game is that being a Frankenstein style creature, that she would on the fly be able to switch out her limbs and body parts for those of other monsters, thus giving her like different power sets.
Oh, so she gets power-ups when she defeats a monster because she... Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I got excited.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like romantic Mega Man.
Yeah, pretty much. And like the longer she held on to the body parts, or the more of a particular set of body parts that she would pick up, like the more powerful or the more versatile that power set would become. Like, I haven't fully fleshed out the mechanics, just mostly the setting.
Yeah. I already want to play this game, like, right now.
It makes me want to.
I know.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it makes me want to see like the counterpart of the gaining stuff. Like what the hell is that one game, guys? It didn't go very well, but like basically the guy was immortal, and like instead of losing health points, he lost body parts.
Oh, trying to remember. Never Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me want to like see that in there too, like losing and gaining body parts all over the place.
I could see that. So I would love to see at least like the tutorial level is you're bouncing around as just a disembodied head, picking up the body parts as you go. See, my problem is that I'm definitely more on the story side when I'm doing stuff Like I could probably write out a short story set in this setting. It's when I come down to like thinking up mechanics. I like the idea of swapping out body parts and whatnot, but I have no idea how
I
that
got
would
you covered.
mathematically work.
Oh, I can totally do it.
What, like mechanics? Like how do you mean?
Well, I guess for instance, like I know this is probably a question for Andy, but like I'm already thinking about how this game can work,
Yeah.
and
It seems pretty straightforward. I mean, this would be like a beat 'em up, or it'd be like an action platformer, kind of like, third-person action platformer like God of War, except of course, you're equipped with the different body parts. I don't know. I suppose, yeah, you could do a kind of like or no better still, Arkham. The Arkham City. Arkham Asylum, that kind of thing, where you run around, you pick up different stuff, and you can incorporate them into your attacks. And of course, you're pulling off combos and stuff. And here, it would be kind of the same, except of course you're doing combos with the different weapons that you've acquired, which are the different body parts. So. Now I'm kind of curious. Would you be able to retain body parts you've picked up and that you've just got certain ones equipped, or would you be constantly swapping body parts as you go? Like kind of like, how in Contra that you hit the power up, but then you have the spread gun already and it's a laser, and the laser sucks, so you just skip over it and you wait until like the next power up or something like this.
Yeah, like how many body parts could you have with you at a time to swap?
Yeah. I mean, would you keep an inventory, a personal inventory, I guess?
You have more than one, or would you only have to? You could only have what you have equipped. If you swap out, then
yeah,
you're stuck with what you swapped out with.
Yeah.
That's actually a very valid question, and it brings up game balance. Like
I've already been thinking about it.
Like how in depth are we taking this? Do we count like the head and torso as body parts?
Or how about a
replaceable?
Small, or maybe that's a power up you can get. You eventually you start off, you only have what you have. You can only swap, but you lose whatever you had, and then later on you get an upgrade. You get a bag.
Body bag.
Body.
There you go. Yeah.
A burlap stack or something. You keep severed limbs in, and then you can swap out between say.
Yeah.
3.
I'm thinking you should just go like total Gungrave with it, and she just keeps a cough on her back all the time, and and so she has a complete body made up of different bodies, and so she swaps out the part she needs with the other part in the coffin. So like let's say I'm trying to think of something with you could swap out like some kind of stone golem's feet. If you need to do the iron boots thing and stay grounded. Or harpy legs or something if you need to scale walls, and swap those out with your regular legs to scale up a wall or something like that.
Could you potentially collect all the body parts of a particular monster and then kind of have it like a special suit of armor that has a completely full set of abilities? Like, if you were to collect, like harpy legs, a harpy body, and wings, could you then like basically use the same attacks as a harpy?
Yeah, I could totally see that working. Like that's one of the things that I
have like your head though.
That I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep your head, but attach it to the harpy body and the harpy wings, and yeah.
Well, see, that's one of the things that I was thinking about when I was writing up the basis for this. I wrote down a couple of example power-ups, is like mummy wraps, like doing your arms, vampire fangs, and
Wings.
oh god,
Yeah. Well, I was thinking bat wings.
The vampire
dragon
teeth.
wings.
The vampire teeth could be like a short-range power attack that siphons health.
I think it should work on like Metroid rules, where some power-ups you have to switch out for, but some just kind of stay with you, like with the various suit and that sort of thing, where like you get like the heart of Dracula or something like that, and it just makes you more resilient.
okay.
Yeah.
Like,
So things like vampire fangs would be a permanent upgrade,
Right.
whereas like mummy wraps would be the temporary.
Yeah.
well, in Monster High, Frankie Stein, actually can detach her hands when she needs to, and they can go off and fetch things like Lincoln does
Yeah.
in Modern Family.
I was thinking that Frankenstein hands, or like the Frankenstein arm, would be a very strong but slow attack that provides some defense and is resilient against certain elements like fire and electricity. Even though of course fire bad, I know, but you have the mind of someone else, so
Yeah.
Um,
You take extra damage from fire, but like less from electricity.
yeah, stuff like
Or
that.
you're healed by
Yeah, you
electricity.
get healed by lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course you can only fight certain electric monsters and get past electric obstacles whenever you have the Frankenstein hand on. But of course the drawback is it's slow. And I'm thinking that when switching out body parts should be a slow process, or at least slow enough to where you can't just do it on the fly. You have to kind of premeditate how you're going to approach the situation, and if
you would bake that into the level design.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that you would
and enemy placement
a chance to you would give either you could set aside special areas like in Resident Evil how there's always the
it's like that because
magic
the same
box
thing.
Typewriter. You could do something like that and give her a chance to swap out then, or you could just bake it into the design. Whereas like a lot of like the how instead of dropping ammo caches right before like a boss fight, for instance,
just a small space to kind of collect yourself.
Yeah, just a place with just body parts or whatever, and you could just set that up and
she should use a staple gun.
Yeah,
or stitching. I would just love to see you just have to stitch yourself together.
It almost seems like that you've got an elemental theme that you can set up where you've got fire would probably be bad for all the monster types, I imagine, but you could set something up
Well,
where
it's
it's like,
aggravated.
well, no, but I mean, like for instance, electricity would as far as like favorable elements, electricity for Frankenstein, maybe air for the Mummy, maybe water for the sea monster, Black Lagoon guy, whatever, and so it would allow like either you could do a melee attack or perhaps some kind of ranged attack based on that element. What you could even maybe do is like put them tie them to the shoulder buttons, so that what you've got is then you've got your left and right arm melee attack, and then the L2 and R2 triggers would be your ranged attacks for each arm, and then you could have like a jump attack or something, or just other type bonus with the legs, and so you could do that.
Also, great pun behind the name. I just got it.
Yeah. Again, titles take me forever, and that literally happened yesterday. I'm like, what the hell would I name this?
Would you have like a magic needle and thread or something?
I was thinking if you wanted to set up like an ammo system, you could just have limited amounts of thread stitching.
Only so many.
No.
If you wanted to go that route.
No ammo.
Yeah.
No. For this concept, I'm going to suggest no ammo. And as far as the thread needle, it quickly starts to sound like item degradation, and I hate that mechanic. So I'm immediately going to.
Yeah, it is kind of a cheap shot. I was just saying, like, if you wanted to, a creative solution to what to call it would be like that. But I mean, yeah, I think it's much better served to be like I said, just time delay. To where like that plays itself into the mechanics, and that you can't really do it in the middle of battle, because it takes so long to to do that.
I think for one thing, I like the mental image of it being a staple gun, and on top of that, considering that it's meant to be like a high school setting, the staples are readily available in the surroundings.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah, I was going to say you could actually have them attached by various means, and then depending on what you're attaching it with, it could grant you stronger bonuses because it's better secured to your arm. You know, so instead of having item degradation, it just like say like you know, simple organic attachment or, you know, cloth or whatever, that grants one bonus, and then needle and thread grants another bonus, and then later on you go through a construction zone or something and you find a staple gun, and that
Yeah.
grants yet another
Okay.
set of bonuses.
And another thing about
for
that
each of the
is
items,
that
and so the items are actually getting stronger or granting.
I can see that. You could like say you start in a kindergarten classroom. You have like library paste or glue or something,
Yeah.
and you could like
Yeah.
pass
Yeah.
through Olmec and pick up needle and thread, and then
Yeah.
eventually you're like in the new wing under construction, and that's where you
Yeah.
find like the staple
Or
gun.
shop class.
Exactly.
Well, I'd actually think the needle and thread would be the stronger bond than like a staple gun. You know, staple gun's kind of a quick.
Well, you know,
if you
no,
actually
no,
sit there with like a
remember-
needle and thread, putting, you know, quality stitch, you know,
No,
stitching.
remember when when you have abdominal surgery, they staple you together.
Yeah, because they're too lazy to use
Yeah.
stitch.
and another thing that sorry, go ahead, Lily.
All be kind.
But yeah, another thing that implies is that it will replace the health system kind of, to where like, you know, you can't take as many hits with you know, like shitty bandaging, so you know, like your limbs will fly off. You'll lose that ability after you get hit so many times in that area, or perhaps at all. You'll probably just start, you know, wherever it's going to start. And you know, you'd be taken down until you're just, you know, Shelly herself, and
You know-
then you can only survive a couple of hits off of that.
You
But
know-
once you have tighter bindings and better bindings, like you're talking about, you'll be able to take more hits.
You know what would be interesting is to play with the concept of a no-fail state, where instead of like dying, you simply just you're kind of doing what's that film? Death Becomes Her. Where you're just
Yeah.
kind of doing this Death Becomes Her thing, where you're just this head bopping around.
Kind of like
You know,
Riverdale.
you can't effectively fight the enemies, but you know, you can't necessarily be killed by them either, and so it lets you have a chance to, you know, regroup. You know, you could kind of like bounce your way back to a prior screen or something, and kind of regroup yourself. You know, reconstitute. You know, after a fashion.
And that would really open up some of your level design options as well, because you could design entire levels around like having a limited number of limbs. Like
Yeah.
you're only a head. Your options are to roll around
yeah.
the air ducts.
But yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about, though. Like I said, it replaces the health system. You know, so like you lose limbs, you know, more slowly, and you'll have to go through harder things in order to lose them as you progress and get better stitching, until, you know, you become that head.
Yeah.
And
I'm just I mean, on one hand, it's I don't know. I'm seeing a couple of good things and a bunch of really bad things.
Randy, you mentioned a game called Never Dead. Could you explain how that works in there?
Yeah.
Only limited because I've never actually played it. I've only seen it played a couple of times, but basically the core idea of the game was that you were immortal and you didn't die so much as you lost body parts, and there were some points in the game where you would just be rolling around as a head trying to find the rest of your body and stuff. So that's definitely a mechanic that was in use. The game was not very popular, and I don't know why exactly. It I don't want to say it failed, but it wasn't a big title. But I was just saying that concept was already similar to a concept I've heard of.
But yeah, that's what I thought we were essentially talking about. Is when you said you don't really die, you just sort of become a head and start rolling around until you get to an area where you can regroup. You know, all I was saying was that
I don't know. I'm trying to think, because it's well, just how I'd want it to play out. Yeah, because you could just be knocked around into pieces, but you know, it'd be
Wikipedia says IGN gave Never did 3 out of 10, commenting on poor control scheme, repetitive gameplay, and that the characters were just unlikable and not fun.
Yeah, well, that's just because bad storytelling and
Yeah.
most writing in video games is bad. I heard recently at the latest GDC that people think plots are overrated, and that nobody really remembers the plot of video games. It's because the plot is the levels, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced that it's overrated. I just think most places
It's
just
underdone.
haven't done it well.
That's a better way of putting it. Is underdone.
Yeah. I don't know. How would you get back together? Because
Well, yeah, I mean, because like you said, there's spots where they're designated for regrouping. Like you said, whereas you had the typewriter and etc. for Resident Evil, you could just roll back to one of those spots and be able to sort of reformulate yourself.
And
You can hop into a locker.
Yeah. That would be hilarious. Yeah, just hop into a locker, you hear some thrashing about, and some oohs and ahs as she's like struggling to get her stuff back on, and she comes back out.
he's like, pull it together, Shelly.
Yeah. And you hear like retarded, like stock, like construction sounds.
Depending on how cartoony you wanted to make it.
Right.
I feel like at that point you have to
And
make it
with
pretty
that,
much.
I tell you,
when you went back to that spot, you could actually change out your loadout. So you're like, okay, that first the first loadout the first setup I had didn't work. Let me tweak it, try something else.
Right.
So you put on a different set of body parts if you want, and try the rest of the level again with a different loadout.
yeah.
And I would say a great compromise between doing the roll back to the save point, so to speak, thing, and just having a traditional retry leveling is to just put a retry level in the menu anyway. Even when you're not rolling around, you can just go back to retry from last checkpoint. And so so that way the iteration doesn't become tedious, and it gives you some options. So
You could also have some levels that require you to just be ahead, so you're not losing the mechanic completely.
Yeah, that's how you morph ball. You just lose all your body parts, and just if you need to go through a small crevice or something like that,
Yeah, I'd hate to have a moment. One of the things that I would like to try to avoid in this game is an instance like you get with certain video games, such as Silent Hill Downpour or other type games where you've got fixed scripted moments where you lose all your stuff. Where the things that you had saved or, were conserving or were otherwise trying to be good stewards of, so you would have it for later in the game if you needed it. And then it doesn't matter because at certain scripted moments, you're just going to lose all your shit anyways.
Well,
and I would really like to avoid something like that. That if you give it to a player, let them be a steward of the resource.
Yeah, the alternative to that is doing level design like Deus Ex Human Revolution did, where the alternate paths are more like personal challenges. Like if you want to do the whole head mode, you could totally roll through the air ducts and under benches and desks and stuff.
You could also make your lockers, magic or whatever. If you wanted to have a specific, your stuff's always in the locker when you get there. I mean, whether you were just
if the thing's mostly going to be in, say, a high school building, then the lab where you were resurrected, say it's a hidden lab, like in the boiler room or something down in the basement. So you take too much damage, you get reduced down to a head, you have to look for a vent. Roll yourself into a vent, and that takes you into the secret lab in the boiler room, and you can stitch yourself back together and then start the level or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think it depends on how you would want to take the game, realistic versus.
Oh, you wouldn't do this realistic at all.
I don't think so. What I'm saying is
stylized, or you would want something highly stylized or highly toonish. That way, you have much greater buy-in with what's happening because you set the tone for allowing more abstract expressions of the mechanics as they play out. Because otherwise, if you make it too realistic, then it begs for realistic explanations.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That you'd want to basically avoid.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I totally have this vision in my head of Shelly Spider-Manning around using mummy wrappings.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Not spider legs?
No, that's where you get into wall crawling.
Yeah.
Like you swap out your entire lower body for like
When you said Spider Manning, I was thinking wall crawling. You were thinking like web slinging.
yeah, web slinging.
Yeah.
Okay, with the mummy wraps. That's pretty awesome. Let's see.
And you can use it against enemies. So that's really cool.
Bitch slap with a mummy wrap.
Oh, you could do like a bionic commando thing with them.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the mummy wraps could act like a bionic commando thing, and then the maybe the. Would you? Would you? I guess you would want the legs to be in pairs. I was kind of wondering because you could have different arms, but I'm thinking the legs you'd want to like have both of one type of leg on. You know.
And that works like through controller schemes too, because I mean, any leg upgrade could be controlled via the left analog stick, which is just movement.
No, I'm just thinking that just like you have the left and right arm are different monsters. I was thinking you wouldn't want the left and right leg to be different monsters. So
right, unless you wanted
I think you could pull it off, but you could have like certain sets, like say the whole idea of doing like a Drider style, like certain sets of like certain bits of things would take up both slots. Like if with the legs, for example, like if you defeated a giant spider, you could replace your entire lower body with the thorax of the giant spider, or like I can't off the top of my head think of a torso.
Like a Sphinx.
Actually, I was thinking, you could just swap out limbs, and she could retain her regular torso.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of reason to really change.
Yeah, I'd actually like it better, I think, if she got to keep her regular torso and she's just swapping out limbs, and then that way you're just focusing on the mechanics of the limb attacks. You could have the Frankenstein one be a tank, so he does like a solid melee punch or melee pound, or if you have the Frankenstein feet, then they could do a special ground pound attack that could disrupt nearby enemies and as like a knockdown effect. Or if you have the Black Lagoon sea creature there, maybe it could be both poisonous and impervious to poison. Not like the creature was really known for that, but it could just be that kind of attack. So you've got a slashing melee attack that deals poison damage also, or you've got the mummy attack could be more like a bionic commando thing, where maybe you could either use it to tag certain levers or something to solve puzzles, or swing from ledges or swing up to ledges, or you could use it to reach out and grab enemies and then pull them into you, or pull yourself to them, depending. I don't know.
I actually like the idea of keeping the primary torso, because then you could use the individual organs as your sustained upgrades, like replace your spleen with like a fugu fish bladder to give you a permanent poison effect.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And on the plus side, it's a female character, so boobs. Let's have the boobs.
Well.
Yeah. Sex sells.
Gotta remember, this is a high school student, Jason.
Yeah.
She could be a senior.
She was retained a couple of years.
No, we could give her a more modest physique, and she wouldn't be like stacked. She'd be like Kim Possible stacked, whereas kind of spelled, not overly large, but still well pronounced boobs, that kind of thing.
Impossible had boobs. When did that happen?
I don't know. I don't fucking watch kickball.
They were kind of triangular, but she had them.
All right. So on the King Possible's boobs, we might want to move to the next the next person.
Wasn't a lollipop chainsaw supposed to be like set in a high school or some shit?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
all.
yeah. It was a high school cheerleader.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew plenty of girls in high school who were stacked. There were some girls in junior high who were stacked. Although in junior high, most people didn't want to be stacked because got too much attention that way.
Oh, I remember.
Really want.
Anyway.
But yeah. So underage boobs.
Sorry, let's pull this back to the core here.
Wait, so
Okay.
it depends on what her birthday
Okay.
is. Alright. So,
But
So
yeah,
that sounds like the core concept itself is fairly, straightforward and feasible.
and interesting. I mean,
Oh yeah, when I was, sorry, go ahead.
if you ran it as say an app for the tablet,
Yes. No. No.
really,
No.
or
No.
not an app too.
Why would you just totally downgrade that then since you suggested it?
No, you
Complicated
want to
app
do
there.
this. You want to do this as a console game, and not now. You could bake in console controls, and release it on PC or something. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not certain what. Oh God! No, I don't want to think about trying to map controls like that to a keyboard. I get there's enough games already out there that feel just incredibly awkward. Like trying to play. Like I got Guacamelee recently.
The keyboard
And-
isn't the problem. It's just a touchscreen. I'm thinking, ugh.
Well, the touchscreen you have really just the one input. You tap things, or you can swipe things, and that'd be great if you just had a character who had a couple of different types of attacks. So that you're tapping or swiping or doing certain things. Like I could see a possible version of you playing, say, Okami on a touchscreen. Something like that, where you're doing these brush strokes for certain types of attacks.
I'd be better at Okami if it was on a touch screen.
But yeah, no.
Yeah, I could definitely see like a companion app or something. And in fact, like one of the ideas I scrapped was going full on Brutal Legend and having it be half an RTS. I could totally see doing an
Ooh.
RTS in the same setting on it.
No.
I mean, I see where you're going though. Like,
I mean, yeah,
because I mean, you
again,
can make different units out of like the monster parts. I mean, you could make different different units that do different things. And if you're gonna if the last battle were a sort of breakaway moment like Final Fantasy VII did in that little mini game where you could control different units, just it's a very remedial RTS to save a village. It would be like that. It'd be like the last stand, against like the high school and the monster horde, and you had to use all the parts you've depending on how many kills you've gotten, that's how many parts you got to build your army at the end of the game, and then that's how you set everything up. And that would be pretty cool. But I mean, yeah, it's still risky because I mean, a lot of people have mixed feelings about Brutal Legend, and it's two different game methods.
Yeah.
I loved Brutal Legend. I think it was a great game. I think that had they had the time to do a sequel or to work more on it, that a lot of the issues would have been ironed out, because I love the idea. One of the things that actually pissed me off the most about it was that I couldn't go demon form whenever I wanted. I had to wait for a stage battle. And once you beat the game, you can still run around the map, but you no longer have any stage battles.
Yeah.
But no, if we were to do a touchscreen something, it would definitely be like a companion game that would be designed for it, rather than being part of the core game, which I definitely envision more as a 3D platformer exploratory style game.
What kind of
See, I was thinking of it more as one of those side scrolly games where you're like going down a long wall.
Oh, you mean like a beat 'em up? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
kind of.
It's that part. Well, also forgetting I was like,
Well, there are plenty of third-person like beat 'em ups, and there's nothing that says you can't have like corridors in the game, like Streets of Rage style 2.5D beat 'em ups corridors in the game.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of social grouping would Shelly be in as a character? Considering we're talking about.
Yeah, I honestly hadn't thought a lot about it. Like, the obvious thing to go here is like she's the goth, but is that too obvious?
I was kind of actually thinking like goth punk.
yeah, punk. I'm going with punk would be better.
You definitely would want a personality type where she is going to enjoy what's happening, because if she's enjoying herself and she's at peace with herself, then the audience will be also.
She should totally be a biology nerd. That's what should happen.
You know, it could also be that, we're incorporating all of these major monster types. Maybe like her mom or dad is a major film buff, and so she grew up with being raised on all these classic movies.
I don't think you have to go that far in depth. If you want to say classic movies, you could be just
Has anyone seen The Faculty?
Oh my god, I wanted to forever. I might have at some point very, very long, far away in the past, but I have not. Oh god, microphone malfunction.
Oh, okay.
I think
I think I've seen it, but I remember Disturbing Behavior better. I think they both came out.
Yeah, they did both come out around the same time. I definitely preferred The Faculty myself. There's a character in The Faculty who's a young girl who's like the outcast. She's accused of being a lesbian and whatnot because this movie came out in the late 90s, and that was the thing.
I know, right? I bet it's on Netflix. I'm going to check right now.
But I can definitely see like Shelly being that kind of character to begin with. She's an outcast. She's into horror novels and books and stuff. And then when this goes down, this is her defining moment. This is her coming to her own.
Actually, yeah, she could just be, a geek in a non-geek environment where everybody is just really straight-laced, white bread, and watches reality TV. And in the meantime, she's totally reading like horror and fantasy and sci-fi, and she loves all that stuff.
Like me in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I love that Brandy is already drawing.
Oh, so am I technically.
Hold on, let me get you on screen so I can see it. Nice.
Hey, you have the same hairstyle.
Like the same direction. That's great.
That's awesome. You gotta keep the haircut. The haircut is. It's canon.
Yeah, do this.
Yep, it is canon. It is official.
That looks really awesome.
Oh man.
How you know you're doing it right? That's just.
I love that this creates just such a clear vision for everyone, because essentially what you guys are drawing is how I picture her post-transformation anyways.
She's got a flannel. She has to have a flannel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, sexy.
Like tied around her waist.
Yeah, like tied around her waist like a flannel shirt, or like a plaid skirt, and just kind
yeah, because she would need to be wearing like shorts or a skirt or something like that would let her reattach her limbs easily. So
jean shorts, some kind of t-shirt, flannel.
Yep. Jean shorts, ripped leggings in her original form.
Like an indie band logo.
Yeah.
I was just about to think like Nirvana with like the little dead face.
A Nirvana
face.
Yeah.
She could.
Misfits, because you got the skull.
Oh yeah.
I would like definitely make your own variant of it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how you monetize the game. You sell different band shirts to download for her to wear.
There you go. Yes, different. Well, that's customary. The different outfits and stuff, you know.
I mean, like you could literally do that. Like approach like indie bands in your town and like, hey, I'm doing a game.
Yeah,
Would you like some advertising?
I know one, so.
Everyone knows one. It's Mississippi. There's like 12 right down the street.
No one is.
Okay.
And plus, they have a good name, too.
Mm.
It's Chains of Flesh.
Ooh, it's very God's war.
There's our underage
Hold on, I'm gonna put
boobs.
Brandy on the main screen. I don't know how that's gonna. But anyways, there's Brandy is now on the screen. I don't know how that's gonna translate to the broadcast.
Well, we'll find out together.
But yeah, okay. So let's actually talk like unit selection. Like clearly, like mummy, vampire. We've mentioned the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, Wolfman. You need wolf legs, so you can run real fast.
Oh yeah,
Spider for climbing.
Yep.
Giant spiders.
Herpy for flying.
That's
Alright,
so
hold on.
good.
Let me put.
You need to like scan it. Give it to me. I'm gonna color it.
I can't
Okay.
see it
I
very
just
well.
realized you put her in like little leggings. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, just like little mummy wraps, just because that's mostly what the mummy part would be, with just the wrappings. So, yeah.
Nice.
I kind of worked on the Frankenstein arm, and I kind of goofed that a little bit. You know, I would go back in and add better
Well,
structure.
Frankenstein would be her, just her default, because she is a Frankenstein, right?
I love
guess.
when they're called Frankensteins. It's like the best shit ever.
Well, it seems like you could. I don't know. On one hand, she is a Frankenstein. On the other
I
hand,
mean, you could have like her core default be like quote unquote zombie.
like taking the arms of dead jocks or something, you know, and just sticking, you know, really
Yes.
arms on.
Another thing,
You know, or
another thing
whatever.
we've been talking about monsters. What about dead students? You know, like
Yeah.
football players' arms or something. Or
Yeah, so you could just throw stuff really far. That would be great.
A track team's legs.
Yeah.
Members' legs for speed.
I think that totally works. Like we would certainly have to like narrow it down to like a given set. But I could definitely see like the jocks being like the football
Maybe
team.
the jocks are the
being,
problem. I mean, technically, you've got this like culture teen here. Maybe the jocks are like.
The jocks have all been brainwashed by the monsters, and she's
Is
cheerfully
that too cliche?
watering her way through them to.
Yeah.
That would be great.
They've all been possessed. Yeah. I would totally pay money for that game.
Let's see.
I don't know if I would necessarily say it was too cliche because to be honest, I mean, how many things like this can you name?
Not that many.
Lollipop.
No.
Well,
Like
and that was a fucking cheerleader.
yeah, Lollipop Chainsaw's about it. Yeah, and in that you're playing the cheerleader rescuing the jocks.
Yeah, so it's not really the same thing.
Yeah, it's a great revenge story. The weirdest revenge story ever.
I love it.
You should say teasy stuff when she's fighting him. Looks like you're finally taking me to the dance. Bam, and like just knock him around.
Like, I just can just hear like that's so metal with like when something like explodes or I don't know. It's
Brutal. Totally metal. Can we get Brandon Smalls to be to do
Anything? Yeah.
Oh my god! As much as I love the idea, I do not have the money.
during Death Clock soundtrack by
Oh god, yeah. If we could get that Clock to do the sound.
You wear a Death Clock T-shirt.
That could work.
Oh, that's the pre-order bonus if you get it online through Steam.
You get a Death Clock T-shirt, like Breathe Dawn by Brendan Smalls. I don't know. I'm not even sure if I'm saying his name right. Is it Brendan or Brandon?
Oh,
Brendan, I think.
it's Brendan. You got it.
Brendan.
Right.
You ever seen
It's
the
the same as his character from Home movie.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the guy? He's like this tiny, skinny little fucker. It's like her brother, but when you hear his voice, you expect like a 50-foot tall, fire-breathing giant.
Oh man. I mean, yeah. I mean, like Home Movies is essentially his childhood, the show.
I've actually never seen it.
It's great. It's so good. I think it's on Netflix.
Oh my
In
god.
fact,
It's so good.
were we talking about just this game?
It's one of the Scribblevision series. Sorry. Oh, I mean, we can do others if someone has an idea. This is just.
Oh
the
no,
one
I was just
had
wondering. I don't
prepared.
really. I mean, like I'm fine with just this, and then maybe like another or something, or because I
I
thought
think
like
we might be. As far as the rough idea goes, I think we might be reaching the end of this particular idea for right now. You know, do some
Now
more
let's just
refinement and come back.
The joy of drawing with Brandy.
Yeah.
I am like such a fan of Noble Bear's sketch. It's just you can't see it because he's
Yeah,
doing
we
it
can't
traditional.
watch him do it.
Yeah.
His instinct.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
Bam! There we go.
working
I
on
do
a
love
different
this.
one.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it's at times like this I really wish I had a Cintiq. I really, really wish I had a Cintiq because it's oh well.
Do we want to wrap up this episode or?
Might not be a bad idea. Keep it short.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that was fairly short and concise, and I think we really discussed a lot of things with this particular idea. If, like I said, if we want to approach it again, we can come back with it to be a bit more polished, and we could talk like specific creature designs or level designs or whatnot if we want to. But I think for right now, I think we've covered what needs to be covered.
It sounds like program stuff.
Yeah. Alrighty. Do we have any viewers?
Well, we had two at one point, so
Aw.
thank you, our viewers, for tuning in for this, our
I
shortest
think that's
episode.
the FBI when we start talking about underage.
Our legion of adoring fans. All of you. Yeah, start.
Oh.
Rome wasn't conquered in a day.
But yeah, that was great. Thank you guys for joining me and for listening to this idea of mine. Hopefully we'll do more of these in the future. We're gonna go ahead and call this one a night. So night, everybody.
Okay.
Night.
Night.
Bye.